So a very happy new year to everyone, and welcome to the first meeting of this year and this 22nd video community of practice meeting. I'm Pankaj Agrawal, founder of Next Software Solutions and working group leader of this community of practice. To get started, let's review the last meeting. In the last meeting, we had decided to have this month's meeting on 9th, that is today, instead of 2nd January due to holiday on 2nd January. So if someone is not aware why we are having it on 2nd Monday, it is because we had decided in the last meeting to postpone 2nd January meeting to today, 9th January. Apart from that, we had discussed on several things. A few key things that we discussed was one was regarding the speed. So one was about the speed extension. We decided to modify the description and example to clarify that negative value is for rewind and positive value is for fast forward. We also removed 0 because 0 would not apply. It would not be a possible value. We also discussed extensively regarding resolution, and there was a confusion on whether we should use resolution or quality, and if resolution is the right word to use. The discussion did not end with a decision because we felt some more research is required. So just after the meeting, I had done a quick web search and I found few things. So if someone has not gone through these, maybe you can go through this, or if someone has any more inputs, you can let me know. So there was a discussion on Yahoo Answers. So someone was talking about resolution and quality, two settings in a camcorder. So this is, I can set my resolution to 1080 by 60i, 720 by 60i, 480 by 60p. I can set my quality to super fine, fine, and normal. So he's asking about 60/60i and about the quality. So based on this answer, as well as the settings available in this particular camcorder, it seems that the camcorder calls resolution for this 1080 pixel, 720 pixel, 480 pixel, and quality as fine, super fine, normal. So in this case, fine, super fine, normal is I forgot what it was. Quality settings usually related to what bitrate is being streamed. So in this case, quality is the bitrate may be related to how would a complex picture say? Maybe it is related to frame rate. He calls it bitrate. If you don't have the link, I can share it in the chat window. And if someone goes to this link here, xAPI vocab pub, I have shared it in the chat window. And if you don't see this right panel, you would need a plugin on your Chrome. It is called Hypothesis. So you'd need to add this Chrome extension called Hypothesis, and then you would be able to see this right panel with annotations and comments. I had also gone through the YouTube quality settings. So based on the YouTube quality settings, if you want to check what is the video quality being played, quality is what YouTube calls it. So when you talk about YouTube quality settings, where it is. So if you see, you will be able to find what quality of video is being played, and in terms of quality, it gives only this information: small, medium, large, HD 720, HD 1080, high res, and default. So for small, it means 240 pixels. For medium, it means 360 pixels. For large, it means 480 pixels. For HD, it means 720. For HD 1080, it means 1080 pixels. High res means it is greater than 1080 pixels. So it is checking the height of the video. So in each of these settings that it is giving back or setting, it is talking only about the height of the video, not about width or width by height.
What's the question here, and what are we trying to answer here?
Okay, so in the last meeting we had an extensive discussion on this particular extension called resolution that we have right now. So for resolution, currently we are saying that resolution is in terms of pixels, and that is 360, 480, 720, 180. So
and that's not correct. So okay.
Yeah, and I think the other thing with all this is that, you know, that word quality, and I think that came from the way YouTube displays it. Like Pankaj just pointed out, if you hit quality settings and you have the option to select the different resolutions for your video to be displayed. So I think that's what. So we're trying to capture, you know, what is the intended resolution the video is going to be displayed on, display resolution, right? So I think we need to follow not just like dialogues of chat rooms and stuff, but maybe some existing standards. I put a link in the window on this Wikipedia page. At the bottom, they've got a table of all of the actual standard for the display, and then the correlating aspect ratio, the width and height. Shouldn't we go off of that? Because there's other standards emerging, like the 4K and 8K standards, and eventually we're going to want to be able to capture those too, not just what's on like YouTube players and other places like that.
Well, I guess here's my thing is, if you're looking at the resolution by definition is X by Y, it's height by width. If you say 1080p, that may not be accurate. And again, you look at 1080p can be 10 by 9 or I'm sorry, 16 by 9, or even 16 by 10 we're starting to see now. So that's not the true, you know, so if you have a video, okay, it's 1080 high, but that doesn't say how wide it is. And even if it meets, you know, or the other way, I've seen several that would qualify as 1080p by width because it's widescreen, so it's wide enough, but it's not that high. You know, because it's using Panavision or not Panavision, or whatever Panavision turned into. So you know, that's where I'm running into a problem. Is resolution is defined by X and Y. If you say 1080p, then that means the video is without question 1080 by, what is it, 1920 or something like that. Where is it? Yeah, 1920. And that's just not always the case.
Yeah. So generally the width is highly variable, but the height of the video is commonly the commonly used height of the video is like 360, 480, and then 720, and then 1080, and in some newer some 4K videos it is 2160. So generally height is in certain categories. Similarly in YouTube, if you see, so if you see when it says quality, it is talking about the height of the video. So when it says small quality video, it is 240 pixel high video.
Right. So the term resolution is not the correct term. And to Jason's point, when you get to 4K, 4K does not make any reference at all to height.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the last call too, just to refresh our conversation, because I totally forgot about half of it. But the other thing we were kind of comparing to is the next on the that vocab list. Under resolution, we have screen size as one of the context extensions too. And I think the other thing we were talking about is like, why aren't we making you know, that consistent, the resolution and the screen size? I mean, if we're talking about width by height, because the screen size is what they currently set it to, but the resolution is what it was designed for to display on. Is that right? Or is that, or am I missing the?
There are three different things. So let's say if you're seeing this screen,
Yeah.
this entire part of the screen is the screen size. Now, if you see this table, if you are seeing this common display resolutions table, so this table is occupying a smaller space on the screen. So if this is a video, this table is a video, that would be the video size. So the size of the video, that is the size of the screen that the video is occupying right now on the screen. Do you get that? So
no, we understand that. I think what Jason's going for though is two things. One is, if you're going to refer to the size of an element, be that element the video element or the screen, the displayable area, we should have some congruency. And if we're going to refer to them by the term resolution, which by definition,
no, we are not talking about.
Wait.
Resolution is a different thing.
Screen size is by definition resolution, because we're counting the pixels by height and by width. That is by definition the resolution.
Yeah, but we are talking about three things, so we cannot call all of them as resolution. So we'll need three different words.
Point.
So
our use of the term resolution here is incorrect. It should be quality.
Okay, so when we are talking about, let's say we call it quality. So if we call it quality, it's fine if you think it is right. But anywhere we see, for example, YouTube is calling it quality. So, but when he's telling quality, he's only talking about height. Technically, he's. I didn't get you.
in your example here, you're only using the height measures. Integer value, e.g. 360, 480, 720, 1080, those are the heights.
Yeah, so when you're talking about height, YouTube is calling it quality. So when you go to a YouTube video and you click on the settings and change the quality setting there, you are changing it from 240 to 360 or 480 or 720 or 1080 or 4K. 4K means 2160. So that is what you are changing. You are changing the height of the video being received. Okay, and it is being called quality by YouTube. So that is what YouTube calls it. It doesn't mean that it should be quality. Quality, according to some articles that I read, quality is combination of multiple aspects. Height of the video. Yeah.
Well, but I mean that's how YouTube is defining that by shortcut. I mean, you're not just changing when you go from 720 or when you go from 1080 to 420. It's not just changing the height; it's also changing the width and it's changing the data bandwidth accordingly.
Yeah, as soon as height changes, aspect ratio will be same for that specific video. So if a video is 4:3 video, the aspect ratio will be same for it in all different quality settings. So if you go to a higher quality, the entire video
But what I'm saying is both of those articles are essentially saying the same thing. One is defining it by the bandwidth as defined as a function of the height by width. The other is defining quality as a shorthand notation of the height, but also inferring the width and bandwidth. They're both discussing the same data sets. They're just deciding to pick on an individual portion. But they're both saying basically the same thing.
Given that they both exist so publicly, can we, within the standard, allow for those two differences and have those be described in standard?
What do you mean?
Having the differences, like the discussion we just had, how can we, within the standard, allow for those differences? Have that there's not two standards, but there's two approaches to the standard. And instead of having everyone...
Honestly, I would pick one.
But then how do we block out the other side?
Why would you block out... Why...
We're saying that this is the standard, but what you're doing something is outside of the standard. And we want to do that.
Well, the problem is referring to quality right now has no standard. It's generally accepted. You refer to it by 1080, 720. Sometimes you just refer to it as HD or SD. I don't know anywhere that refers to it as by bandwidth.
Yes, generally when we say HD, it is either 720 or 1080 pixel height. So if we are talking about HD, we are not talking about the width of the video. We are talking about height of the video generally. If we see this table in Wikipedia that Jason sent, it shows some of the common display resolutions. So this is resolutions. And this HD is referred as 768 height, 768, and then HD plus 900. But generally, if I see in the videos, it is either 720 or 1080 pixels. So 1080, this is calling full HD.
Right. But in none of these cases, in none of these cases is this resolution. So let's address the first issue first. At least in this entry, the term resolution would be incorrect. So
this is a Wikipedia article
that
displays resolutions and
it can be from anywhere you want, but calling one dimension resolution is just not right. Because again, okay, it's 1080 height. We're not saying what the width is, and by definition, the resolution of a video has two dimensions.
yes.
So here, I would, for resolution, I would call, maybe video quality or stream quality, or just quality, whatever. I would not call this resolution if we're only expecting one integer value.
Should we add another extension property to allow for, the separation of quality and resolution? So, I mean, depending on the video player, you could, they might specify a little bit differently. You could capture it, both of those, any way you wanted to. Maybe keep the resolution more consistent with like when Anthony's talking about, where you have two dimensions.
Well, you can, and that wouldn't be a bad idea because, for example, on most players, if you say, okay, so let's say I have a video that is 1080 by 1920, or let's say it's 1080 by 1800. Let's give it a weird one. And if I'm calling JPlayer and I set the height to say 560, because I don't want it to take up the whole screen, so I'm going to set the height to 560. It will automatically adjust the width to match. Well, maybe I want to know what that width ends up being, and there are ways to get that. So we could show, but there again, now this gets to another question of do we want to know what the video resolution is? Do we want to know what the playback resolution is?
Playback.
Go ahead.
Yep, the playback that is happening is the video size. So the size of the screen that it is taking up, but the video resolution that is being pulled from the video server is the resolution or quality or whatever you want to call, is what we are talking about. In case of YouTube, if we select, let's say, HD 720, the server will be sending a video with height 720 pixel. Now on the screen, if it is taking more than 720 pixel height, it will interpolate and increase the size on the screen. And if we shrink the video size on the screen, it will again reduce the pixels being shown, but the pulled value will be this 720 pixel. So the quality or the resolution of the video being downloaded is what we are interested in.
All right, so I'm actually going to go a little bit further here because now that I'm looking at this, I didn't notice the video size before. This is completely non-intuitive. If I were to look at this, I would think screen size is the size of the display area, period, not just for video, not just the video playback. That's the whole display area.
Yeah,
video size here is the video as being viewed, but if I see video size, I'm thinking that's the actual size of the video. So I would rename that, maybe playback resolution or something like that, and I would still change what we're now calling resolution. I would still change that to quality. Resolution does not apply.
I kind of tend to agree with Anthony there. And can we add the notations to make those changes to the description so that it'll be a little bit more clear on those? Whatever we do come up with. Yeah, cool. You already got it open.
So let's change this to quality, and then what do we agree that we'll have integer values of the height of the video?
Yeah, that's probably the only thing I would say is I think probably 75% of the time, maybe higher, that will be fine. I think there will be a few outliers where it'll either be SD or HD. But I think they're the outliers, and I don't think they're going to last. I think the trend is definitely to moving to. Now, what I would also say is I would not. Let me backtrack that a little bit. So as far as the HD versus SD, I think they're outliers. I think they're going to go away. I think you're going to go to the standard 360, 420, 480, 720, 1080, 4K. They're already 8K, 16K. Don't use the word height, because again, as soon as you say 4K, now height doesn't work anymore.
4K
So I would
4K is 2160.
Well,
4K
that's a guideline.
2160 and
That you can't. That's a guideline. We can't. We don't. The two things I'm going to say. First of all, is Wiki is not vetted. If you do not ever do anything based on what you see in Wiki, always vet it from somewhere that's professionally vetted and confirmed. The other is, I mean, at the end of the day, these are guidelines. Like I said, if something can be said, it's 1080p, even though it's not, 1920 wide.
Hey, why is am I on mute? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Why is it called 4K and 8K? It looks like the width is just rounded up, and that's how they came up with those kind of clever marketing terms. Is it not based on the width then? I mean, I thought you were saying it was the height. It's kind of where all these qualities were derived from historically. But
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said clever marketing term.
yeah. Well, I mean, that would kind of make you think that. I mean, if you look at it, 3840 rounded up is 4,000, 7680 rounded up is 8,000. Don't see
4K according to this line, it's based on width by height. So width by height is 8.29 megapixels, and is 4 times as many as 1920 by 1080. So 4 times of full HD.
okay.
It is not 4 times of the height, but 4 times of height by width.
Gotcha.
Excuse me, this is Mark again. With height and width, does this become an issue as we turn from landscape to portrait, or is that just something we just don't want to approach at all? And does that Sorry.
I mean, that's a good point, because if you change from landscape to portrait, your playback resolution is likely to change.
No,
yeah, that's.
I think it will be width in that case.
And if so, those numbers would still be correct, right?
Yeah. Because I'm calling it height, but no one is directly. In this case, it says player height is this much. But still, I don't think it will be just calling it a different resolution just because you are viewing it in portrait. I don't think, but I might be wrong.
Well, if you go from,
it depends on the player.
If you go from landscape to portrait, if the player changes to match, it will definitely not be as wide. I mean, I think the 360, 420, 780, or whatever, they still apply. But to Mark's point, yeah, when you move your phone, that's going to go from whatever height. That's going to go from whatever width to, on my phone, it's about 2/3 as wide. Or I'm sorry, it's about I don't know. It's not as wide in portrait mode as it is in landscape, so that you'll see an appropriate adjustment in height.
So finally, should we change resolution to quality? And similarly, this ID will also change.
I'm also starting to think though now we're not going to be able to do an integer value because 4K. That K is not an integer in most languages.
Ideally, if 2160 is available, that should be used, because in most cases that is what it will be.
Well, but now we're getting to the question of where are we getting that from? Are we getting that from the quality stream, or are we getting that from a mathematical examination of the actual playback? Hey guys, I got a call coming in. I'll try to join. I'll try to come back.
Okay. So what should we do here? Change this integer to integer or string?
This is Jason. I noticed we also have video size down at the bottom too. So we need to, whatever we do, we need to update the descriptions of these to make it really clear the distinction between what their purpose is.
So maybe we can change it to playback size. Would that be appropriate?
For which one? Video size?
Yeah, video size.
Well, well, I thought that's what screen size was for.
No, the screen size is the entire real estate available on the screen, and video size currently is the part of the screen that is taken by the video.
Oh, gotcha.
So if playback size makes more sense and avoids this confusion, because I think I've explained this thing I think maybe at least 10 times, and I agree that it is very confusing. So if playback size makes it more clear and easy to understand, maybe we can use that.
Okay. Yeah, or maybe even video dash playback dash size, so it's a little bit more descriptive in the extension name. Okay. Yeah, I think it's good that we get all of these really clear, because they have the potential for people storing the wrong type of information in these extensions if we don't make it very, very obvious of what they're used for.
Yep.
Right. And from a design perspective, if you have these laying down as you're creating, you have a target to hit instead of just hitting it against the wall and then hoping the playback is good. We've at least got a standard to go with as we build.
Mm-hmm.
And understanding there are the differences in the screen resolutions, and this design allowing for those differences, which is pretty much how it happens these days.
Yeah. So for resolution, what what value should we allow? Should we allow integer as well as string value?
Yeah, I mean, if we kind of go with the notion of, what Anthony's point, we make it quality and we allow it to be a string value, then you could put, 1080 or you could also put 4K or 8K or whatever. So
Yeah, the only thing we would need to be able to avoid is that people use different strings for the same thing. So HD, they could type in small HD, small letters, capital letters, high definition.
yeah, I think if we put out in the example column the example values that they can enter, then we'll get some more consistency in what they provide. But they'll walk away for just a moment. I'm going to go on mute and I'll be right back.
Okay. So I'm changing this video size to video playback size.
Sounds good.
So another thing that I wanted to ask is this frame rate. I don't remember if we discussed this part before. Maybe we had discussed. I might have forgotten. So it says represented as a ratio of time base over frame duration, such as 30,000 by 1001, or a decimal such as 29.970. So for frame rate, should we have both these options, or should we only have a decimal option?
I mean, from what I've seen, it's usually expressed as a decimal value in most applications, isn't it?
Yeah. So
Yeah, everything I've seen is always decimal too. I agree.
Yeah, so maybe we should remove this ratio, because if we have a ratio, it will be a string, and then calculating or comparing that string will be almost impossible or
Yeah.
very complicated.
And usually that frame rate is determined by either the hardware that you use to generate the video or the software you use to edit it. So it's
Yeah.
it's not like it's going to be some dynamic thing that they're calculating and then trying to insert in here. I think they would already know that in advance, and we specify it in this extension. Yeah, I think that's
generally it is fixed like 15 or 25.
Yeah. Yeah, I can update that too if you make a note that we decided to go with the decimal.
Well, I mean, I have a lot to do, but I mean, right.
Yep.
No, I just have a lot to do generally, so whatever. I don't have any meetings the rest of the day, and I don't have any meetings tomorrow, so whatever.
Okay.
I can. When do you want to go?
After lunch. I'm gonna. I don't have enough stock, so.
Okay. I love you.
Okay, so there are several changes that needs to be done on this vocabulary, published vocabulary. There were a few typos that I have commented on, so maybe you can see when you are making those changes.
Okay, great. I'll try to work on having those ready way before we meet again, so we can go through them and make sure that we have more to cover next time.
Yeah, if there is any confusion, you can let me know, or maybe if you reply, I might get a notification.
Or I'll just send you an email. That's fine too.
So so far I have on the Git book I have added added the verbs, and so I've added these initialized, played, paused, seeked, interacted, completed, terminated, abandoned. I've added all these verbs. I'm sorry. And I have added the context extensions. So all probably it is not updated. So I have added all the context extensions here, and result extensions is remaining. Apart from that, I think we might need to slightly reorganize it, add the object statement object part, and then results, and maybe some more information related to results. So a little more work is required on this statement data model on this document. So this is where we are. So these result extensions are not added, and then activity types and some other things that needs to be added. And if someone can review this and make any corrections or changes to the language, because I have copied some of it from the vocabulary, and some of it I have written here to adjust based on what I thought it should be, but a lot of corrections or improvement might be possible here. So if someone can go through and make the corrections or suggestions, that would be great. Anything else?
I didn't have anything else. I'm not sure about where everyone else, but this is looking good, Pankaj.
Thank you. So one last thing, important thing that I wanted to say is that next meeting is scheduled for 6th February, but I will be traveling on that day, so I might not be able to conduct this meeting. Maybe if someone of you can take it up, or we can move it to second Monday, that is on 13th February.
I'll follow up with you, Pankaj, and let's touch base as we get closer to the date. I don't mind trying to run it. You might have to give me your access to host it with Join Me if you want everyone to use the same software.
Yeah, definitely. I can share that access. Okay, so for now we'll keep it on 6th February, and maybe you can put it on your calendar, and if there is any issues, we can postpone it.
Sounds good.
Okay, great. So thanks everyone for joining this meeting, and let's meet on 6th February for the next meeting.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.